Hello, this is BQ from BQ Quick Review, and today I got Pook Hustle here. We're going to talk about how to make a relationship stronger. All right. I'm going to go and introduce yourself. What is wrong with you?
Yeah. So some people know me as the music artist, but today I'm up here as myself, Brian. But I'm BQ's brother, more like he's my younger brother, and we're gonna be talking about some things that women could do to like keep their relationship spicy, keep it together. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, a lot of relationships aren't really working out nowadays, and there's a couple of things, you ladies can do a bit better. This is not an attack on y'all. This is more educational, I could take it or leave it. It's up to y'all if y'all want to take this information and use it. I recommend y'all use it. I know some of y'all gonna be like, fuck this big Q. I don't know. I don't like him, but
Hey, I love the lady, so I ain't about to stare you wrong. It's free game. The game is usually sold, not told. So enjoy this while it's here. Feel me?
Yeah. All right. So let's get right into it. So the first one is show that you appreciate him and what he does. So now what I mean by this is when he does certain things for you, you don't just let it go by and just be like, oh, yeah, a man's supposed to do that. He's supposed to do this. No, we like to do things for our woman, but we also like to be appreciated for what we do, or we'll feel like what we're doing just is like pointless. So you want to add more to that?
Yeah, I mean, I had a personal story. I mean, there was a time where I was down to nearly my last dime, and I don't ever do this, fellas. Don't ever do this, especially if you're not in a relationship with a shorty. But I was down to my last couple bucks, maybe like $50, and I took this girl to a movie theater because she was like the type who said, "Oh yeah, I don't do coffee dates." That was the first red flag. That's the first red flag. But yeah, we went on a movie date, and yeah, I pretty much like spent the last of my bread, and only to find out like she didn't really ultimately appreciate that, that sentiment that maybe to her she might be used to dudes spending this, that, and the third on her, but for me, you don't know what that $50 means to another person because sometimes that could be their last bit of bread, and the fact that he's willing to spend it on you, it says how much he's invested in the potential relationship. I get it, have standards, but also be mindful of what sometimes those things means, especially if you're looking for someone to actually be with.
Yeah, couldn't have said it any better. But let's move on to the next point. And the next point is keep doing the things that got him to commit to you in the first place. Now, a lot of girls, I don't know, once they get the man, they just be like, I ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I hear like a lot of stories, for example, of like guys, like, even when it comes to like just sex, like, they go months without having sex with their wife or something. It's crazy to me. I'm like, what? But like, not even just that, but they'll stop doing like even just little things, like maybe they made up their bed all the time and then they stopped doing it. Maybe they used to do their hair and they stopped doing it. Maybe they don't show as much affection and they just stop doing it. You have to keep doing these things and keep it up in order to maintain a relationship. This is how he got you in the first place. How you think you're gonna keep him? So yeah, just keep doing the things that got him. Like,
Yeah, agreed. I don't have no comment.
yeah.
Yeah, very simple.
All right. So the next thing, ladies, a lot of ladies not gonna like this. Always when we get up to this one, but stay in shape. Now, listen, this is something that applies to both male and female, but more so, this is something that I got to talk to about the ladies, because when it comes to weight, they're very self-conscious and sometimes it feels like we're attacking them. Rightfully so, because sometimes some guys are pretty mean when they talk about this topic. And I don't think it's one of those topics where you just come out, yeah, you fat little. Nah, we're not trying to do that. But what we're trying to say is men are visual creatures. So it ties back into the last thing of doing the things that you did to get him in the first place. You were looking good when you got him. Stay looking good. Of course, age comes into play and kids come into play, and that's why you keep up with it so that when these factors come in, it's not going to be so hard.
Yeah.
Pause. No
Yeah.
Diddy.
I ain't come here for this. Yeah. No. Yeah, no, I agree with that. And I think that it's important that you realize that when you're looking for a partner, we both want somebody who will be in our life for the long run. We want somebody who can walk and potentially take care of the kids with us. I might want to go for a hike. If I'm an active dude, that's what I'm into. So I think it's really important that for me in a relationship, like a relationship is all about building and building healthy habits together. I feel like if you aren't staying in shape, then it makes it easier for me to not be in shape. And then it also makes that then easier for our kids not to be in shape.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's a lifestyle choice. Like I'm all about health, wellness, and fitness. I'm not perfect, but I'm still working on my habits. And that's all fellas ask for. We're not asking for you to be in the perfect shape.
Mm-hmm.
We're asking for you to be willing to work
Yeah.
on yourself. Like, not to just let yourself go. Cause I believe that love should be that it should be unconditional, but that's not really how it works. Like if 9 times out of 10, if a dude lost his job and for more than a year, y'all probably be gone. Like some of y'all, I'm not gonna say all of y'all, but a lot of women don't want to stick around with dudes while they going through their struggle. So we got our same, it's different, but the rules still apply. Like,
Yeah, that was a good comparison.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I totally agree with everything you said. Like, also, it's just like, let's just forget about just your partner for a second. It's just good for you.
Yes.
It's just good for you. I want to see the ladies out there healthy and in shape, especially, the black women out there. I love to see a woman in the gym working out, just as probably you do too. So, just keep yourself well in all ways. All right. So, on to the next one. Do not embarrass him. Show respect. Uh, all I don't even, listen. When I'm out in public, I've seen a lot of stuff where like girls are doing crazy stuff, like hitting their guy in public or screaming at them, or just saying really embarrassing stuff in front of like their family or a group of people, and you're just embarrassing them. Like these things really carry out the relationship, and then also it's just like you know um guys are gonna remember those things, and then the people around your man are gonna remember those things. Like, oh, this girl does not respect him if she's doing that. Just remember that you are a mirror reflection of your guy, and the things that you do, especially to him, is gonna look bad on his name. So you don't want to be raising your voice, embarrassing him in front of his, especially not in front of his family and friends. It's not gonna look good. Be respectful. We love in a different way. We like a lot of some of the same things that women like, but more important for us is respect in a relationship. And if it's not there, it's gonna crumble in some way, somehow. The guy is going to get frustrated sometime. You want to add more to that?
No, that's real simple. Like respect is everything in any relationship. But I think
Mm-hmm.
that, with men, especially black men in particular, but I say all men, we all have to go out into the world, into the workforce and fight for the littlest bit of respect. And, if you earn in like an average wage, you're barely getting any respect in this world. So the last thing we want to do is go out there and try to fight our way up the ladder to come home to deal with somebody who is going to emasculate us.
Mm.
That's going to take us off our path.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Oh, enough said. All right. So the next one is be fairly submissive. All right. So what I mean, a lot of you girls, this is like a trigger word for a lot of women. The whole being submissive thing. What's the new word now? Demure. I hear a lot of girls saying demure now,
I'm
but
not touching that one. I'm not. I barely came on the show because I don't want to touch none of this.
But
Yeah.
listen, the submissive thing. Okay, what I mean by be fairly submissive, that's what I mean, because we don't mean you kiss the guy's toes and do unreasonable stuff. You know, some guys take the whole submissive thing too far to where it equals a slave, and that's where I can understand a lot of you ladies when it comes to the word submissive, because some guys got it confused. But when I mean submissive is, you know, you trust your guy's word. When he asks you to do something, you know, listen to him. So long as it's fairly reasonable, he has a reason to why he's asking you to do something. It could be for your protection. It could be for the betterment of the family and stuff. Like one example that I always run to with women, a lot of you women have problems with, would be like how you dress, for example. If a guy is telling you they don't like how you dress, it doesn't mean that they're trying to be like controlling or anything like that. It just means that it's going to draw a lot of attention and it's not going to be good for you, especially when they're out in public, when you not say rely on them, but you expect them to protect you and things like that. So that's just one example of like being submissive, fairly submissive. I'm not gonna ask you to put on a whole hijab and things like that. You know, I'm not gonna ask you to be covered from head to toe, or whatever. But if he's telling you he doesn't like something or he asks you to do something, there's gonna be a reason for it. And also, if you don't understand the reason, maybe you might want to ask about why you want that to be a thing. Not all the time, because we don't need to be questioned on every single thing. But you know, just be. That's why I say be fairly submissive. Okay. You want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of women say there's a lot of women who say they have problems submitting to men because they don't trust men, or that, maybe a dude is like, not in a certain position. I say, like, I'm not even gonna say be fairly submissive. Stop dating men that you wouldn't submit to. Like, if you already know you dating a dude, you don't trust his vision, you don't believe in what it is that he's doing, you don't see a future that things are gonna work out for you well together, don't date him. Leave him. Like, leave him right then and there. The moment that you don't believe, in his vision, because it takes that type of, like, if you want to be with the yeah, it should be easy to submit when you trust somebody's leadership. But the problem is that a lot of women don't trust men's leadership that they date. And then they say that, oh, he's not a real man. Nah, maybe you just dating the wrong dude. You don't, one girl's trash is another woman's treasure. Like, I'm gonna reverse the saying. Maybe his vision might not work for you, but it could work for somebody else. So if you feel like you don't want to submit to his, move on.
Okay, completely agree. That's definitely a good addition to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is communicate. Now, when I hear a lot of girls talk about the things that they have problems with guys, it's always communication. But we kind of have the same problem when it comes to y'all in some ways. You know, there's certain things that us guys have to like realize, you know, when knowing our woman and knowing just our girl over time, that we should pay attention to and we should just know, to be honest. But there's some other things that you got to open your mouth and just like tell us. Like, we're not like mind readers. There's certain things you got to communicate to us about and let us know that, you know, something is like bother you or you don't like this. Like, if it's never been brought up or addressed, how are we supposed to know it? So just communicate with us just like you would want us to communicate with you.
Yeah. And be mindful of your partner's communication style and communicate in a way that will be effective, because men, like, once again, we respond to respect. So when you are communicating, regardless of the situation, if you start with love and respect in your voice and your tone when you speak to us, you could probably say the craziest thing in the world to us, because we can hear the love and respect within what you're saying. Just make sure that you being respectful. Like, don't come out your mouth crazy. Like, I'm from New York. Like, respectfully, Like really be respectful. Yeah, be demure. Like as you say, like be demure. Be demure with your movements. You
And
feel me? Be respectful because like that's all men ever want. Like if you got something to express to us, tell us. But like do it with the do it with the mindset that we are men and we have to already fight for our respect in the world. We don't want to fight for it at home.
that is such a great point to bring up. Like, just it's not even just communicating, just how you communicate too, because a lot of women like can get the things that they want depending on how they just talk to a guy, and they could get a lot more just from how they talk to a guy. And some women understand this, and some women take advantage of it too. But
I ain't
I'm
mad at
just
it.
yeah, I'm just saying, like it's just everything he said is just so true. It's just not even just how you communicate. I mean, it's not just communication; it's how you communicate too. But on to the next one. The next point I have is be an asset and not a liability. So you want to start with this one?
Yeah. I mean, when you think about like the way that men have to live our lives and what we always say, like men are quote unquote the more logical creatures. Um, think about it. We have to really think about how we're investing our time, how we're spending our money, and who we're doing those things with. If we're in a relationship where every time we're around somebody, they're taking away from us and they're not giving or pouring in certain ways, um if you don't have yourself together emotionally, because sometimes it's not even, let's leave money off the table, let's talk about like energetically, like when I'm around you, are you energizing me or depleting me? And that's what I mean about being a liability. When you around me, is every time I'm around you, do you have something good to say or do you have something negative to say? Is there always some drama going on in your life? I don't like, as men, we don't like, I feel like men generally, we do not like drama. We steer
Hmm.
far from it. Why?
Yes.
Because once again, we got to deal with it in the workforce. We
Hmm.
don't want to come home, deal with more of it. So I just say be an asset. And that doesn't just mean having a certain type of job or whatever. It means that you have the emotional intelligence to communicate with us in a respectful way. It means that you can tell when I'm in a certain mood and we can learn together. You
Hmm.
feel me? If we can't grow together, then it's like a liability. So
Yeah, you summed it up very, very perfectly. Just uh, if to simply sum it up, just you should be adding to his life, not taking away from it. All right. But also, you talked about emotional intelligence. So this also ties into a little bit
let's
into the
go.
next point. If you want to add more
Yeah.
to that, learn
Yes.
how to regulate your emotions. You want to tell us about that?
Yes, ladies. And yeah, he made a video with about the fellas without me. A lot of these points can be
Hmm.
interchangeable, so don't feel like we just coming at you. I love the ladies. You feel me? I love y'all. You know, it's me. You see the pressure retwist? Um, but nah, yeah, no, learn how to regulate your emotions. And I've learned myself this firsthand, but a lot of times when we have a certain feeling about something, when we're triggered emotionally by something somebody does or says, sometimes we literally like crash out immediately instead of taking the time to process what happened. Learn how to take the time to process things before you spew something out. Write maybe a response down on paper. Talk to a therapist. Talk to another friend to see if
Hmm.
maybe you're bugging, maybe you're misunderstanding. Because once again, if you are communicating in a tone that does not involve love or respect, once a person doesn't hear love or respect in the tone of your voice or maybe in your choice of words, they're already uninvested.
Hmm.
No matter
Yeah.
what you say after that, you can tell the truth 100%. But if your tone and the respect isn't there and the love isn't there in that conversation, nobody's going to like actually listen to you. And I've
Hmm.
learned this firsthand for myself, like as a man. So it's like it's something that we all have to learn. So figure out whether you want to speak to a therapist, you could do yoga in the morning. Make sure you regulating your emotions, like, so you straight before you even deal with other people. Make sure you straight, so you're not taking out yesterday's drama or last week or childhood trauma on somebody else.
Yeah, he summed that up pretty perfectly. I don't have anything to add to that one. So, ladies, this is all just to help you. This is not to attack you. But if you feel attacked, you can go see my other video, things that can make a relationship stronger for the guys. And you can see me, pick out at some of the things that we as guys do wrong, or some of the things we can do better to make relationships better on our part. But I'm sure there's some things maybe we missed, or maybe you guys don't agree with, or you ladies don't agree with.
Comment down below.
Yeah, I'll chop it up with y'all.
Comment down below. Let us know what you agree with, what you don't agree with. And
yeah. And also, if you guys, want to have fun and drink, and you guys want to have a good time, my game Drunk Joker is out on Amazon. It's a nice competitive drinking game. And even if you guys don't drink, because there's some people who are in a group who may not like to drink, it's a good game for you guys to play also. Check out Drunk Joker on Amazon. I played it with strangers. You guys are gonna love it. But that's it for the video. EQ quick review. Now we do.
Patches I gotta be, cause the edges are jagged. I do not call my piece lessons with real beef, they be squeezing them ratchets. You not the same person that you on internet, I've been smelling some catfish. Don't condone violence, cause we move in silence, you know that they got it like Metal Gear Solid. Pick up the pieces and patches I gotta be, cause the edges are jagged. I do not call my piece lessons with real beef, they be squeezing them ratchets. You not the same person that you on internet, I've been smelling some catfish. Don't condone violence, cause we move in silence, you know that they got it like Metal Gear Solid.